Hey everyone, the name is AJ, and my baseball training company is called Optimal Power Performance. And over the years, we've had the pleasure of training thousands of baseball players all around the country, including those playing at the highest level in Major League Baseball. And over the last 2 years specifically, I have spent countless hours and thousands of dollars developing a training tool that I believe will shape and change the way that baseball players are developing their swing for years to come. And in this video, we're going to break down the tools, how to use them, and even show you some of our professional players using these as well. Before we get going on the bats, I want to give you guys one really good reason to stay and watch this whole video, because the context about the bats is extremely important. But at the end of this video, we're going to be showing you some of our professional level athletes, and one who just started with us today, first time ever with OPP, so he's technically a rookie using the new Snap Pro handle and some of our training bats. And the other, he has a couple weeks of experience using them since we just got some in the other day. You're going to be able to see the differences in how they use the bats, why we use them, the drills that we use, the whole nine. It's going to be awesome for you guys to be able to see these actually live in person. Now, with that, I also want to let you know that with every single purchase of these bats, you guys will be getting a full swing course designed by me and my team that walks you through every step of the way on how to use these bats and how to improve your barrel turn. Stay tuned for that. Watch this whole video for details. I can't wait to start seeing everybody swing these bats. You guys, I have waited 2 years to show everyone these bats, to talk about them, to take everyone through why they were made, how they help hitters, the whole nine. I've waited 2 years for this. I'm super excited, but I'm not gonna waste your time. I'm gonna get right to it. So first off, let's talk about the sizes and then the color options, just to get that stuff out of the way. We have a few different models coming out. We have gamer models, 33 inches and 34 inches with the Snap Pro handle on them. We also have the mini sized half bat model. We also have the fungo sized half bat model. And all of our models come with the Snap Pro handle involved, specifically designed for righties or lefties because it fixes your hand position right away. You have to make sure basically at checkout that you're selecting if you're a right-handed hitter or a left-handed hitter, and be very particular about that. If you're a switch hitter, you will need to have both bats because it's set up in such a way that if I grip this is the right-handed model, but if I grip this and I go to do the drill, I'm gonna hit it perfect. Same thing on the gamer bats, it's put there in such a way, it's lined up with where an orientation of the ink dot, where the grain is, so where you actually want to be able to hit the ball on the barrel in the sweet spot on the best part of the bat. It's lined up in such a way to make that happen. That's why we're very particular, got to be for the righties or for the lefties. It is not a universal nub that works for both sides of the plate. As far as color options, you'll see we have 2 here. We've been testing the colorways for a while now. What we've decided to go with is the gamer bats will be this color, just the standard regular bat wood model. And then the half bats are actually gonna be this sleek black model. Both will have our logos on them. The Launched Bats logo will be on both of them, including the gamers. As far as that's concerned, now let's discuss why this sucker was even made. What's the point to it? What's the point to this little nub? There's 3 main reasons. The first reason is right out of the gate, I wanted to create a bat that could give you immediate feedback in training, because so far to date, we have not used a bat that gives you proper feedback on a proper barrel turn when training, up until now. The second thing that I wanted to fix was the hand position and wrist position of a lot of our hitters who come in. The first thing that we usually adjust with them is where their hands are and how they're actually gripping the bat. So you'll see a lot of hitters actually like choking the bat, getting really excessive with their index finger gripping the bat, kind of having the bat and just not an advantageous angle in their hands to actually turn the barrel. So it ends up getting kind of sloppy just because of how they actually grip it. A lot of choking, a lot of flexion in the wrist, things like that. This handle solves that problem right away once you actually rest your index finger on it, and I'll get into that in a second. The third reason though is I wanted to create a handle that promoted how we believe turning the barrel helps hitters. The way that we believe turning the barrel helps, by the way, we train thousands of players from the youth level all the way up to the big leagues for almost a decade now. With this process, the way that we believe we turn the handle is using this pad of our hand into the handle here, and then using our thumb pad into the handle here, not really using our index finger that much. And when you look at a lot of players in the league right now, you'll see this finger kind of being relaxed up top. Even without the nub, it's kind of just relaxed up there, not really being used. And what you'll notice with a lot of those hitters is the wrist extension will be slight or kind of straight, but hardly ever is it flexed like this. Usually when it's flexed, it's choked, and the orientation in the handle inside of the hand is usually in this angle, which is kind of weird. I'd say for most of the best hitters that we've worked with, the handle usually sits somewhat more in like the kind of closer to the finger area in their hands with this wrist angle slightly extended. Okay, I'm trying to get in a good in a good light here, but slightly extended, and then also lined up somewhat around these knuckles. Now, I'm not a guy that comes in and says you have to have these knuckles lined up, whatever. You can actually have the bottom kind of however you want. What I've seen a lot of hitters do is anywhere from these knuckles over here. This is generally like right in there, because you'll notice what happens with my wrist, which is the most important part, is these are when the knuckles are lined up like this with a little bit of extension. That's kind of how I prefer to hit, but we have other MLB guys that prefer to hit like this. And you'll see it's still flat, like it's not into flexion at all. This is where it becomes more of a problem, something that we really do want to avoid inside of our swing. So this handle solves all three of those problems without coaching, which is really, really cool. Like there's no product to date that I'm aware of, and we've tried a lot of them, that does that. Now, there's still coaching that is involved in order to help you guys turn the barrel the best way possible, which is why we're releasing a free swing course with every single purchase, all of these bats, just to go above and beyond and make sure everyone gets the system on why we created the sizes, the whole nine. But in general, what will happen is you'll just give this bat to an athlete. You'll say, just put this in your hands and just put your index finger and rest it on top of that. Really relax, just rest it there. That's all you have to say. When you put that in your hands, organically, you're just gonna grab it correctly. Very few hitters, very few will grab it and try to choke that thing down inside of their fingers like this and think that that's a comfortable position to be in. Very few will do that. I just can't see how anybody would actually grab that and be like, yeah, I'm gonna hit with this thing just digging into my hand like that super uncomfortably. It just doesn't happen. Whenever I work with an athlete with this, I usually tell them that you just wanna place this index finger right here on top of it and just let it relax. Anywhere from this knuckle to this knuckle, just sit it on there. 99% of people, you just tell them to grab the bat and they just go like this and they're like, is that how I'm supposed to do it? You're like, yeah. So it doesn't really require coaching. So now check this out. When we were using the half bats, I loved the half bats if you knew how to turn the barrel and you knew how to hold it correctly. But I hated having a lot of athletes come in, use the half bats, get the positive feedback that they're doing something good even when they were doing it wrong. Because the half bat currently is being sold as a thing that gives you immediate swing feedback. It does not. That is completely false and untrue. Does not give you immediate feedback, because you could hold the bat incorrectly and you could push the barrel and you could still get positive feedback. If you turn the barrel correctly and you held it wrong, you could get negative feedback. Obviously there's a flaw there, and the flaw comes with the handle. This handle is perfectly placed on this bat that if I just put this into my hands right now and I just go to turn the barrel naturally, I'm gonna be right on the ball flat. So I will hit the ball flush. Now let's say I don't turn the barrel correctly, I don't have any of this, and I decide to push the barrel. So I take my hands towards the ball like this. So let me make sure I'm in frame to be able to do that. And I just push the ball to go hit it. I will clip this ball. And this is generally what a lot of hitting coaches actually teach. So if you do this enough and the athlete clips it enough and they can't stand clipping it and they really want the external feedback of like the whoosh, I don't know if you guys can hear this or not, but like the wind currently getting broken behind me and that whoosh through the air, how light the bats are, and then the smack of the ball when you hit it, if they want that external feedback, they will naturally start to correct themselves in order to make that happen, which is pretty cool. But I do believe that regardless of any swing tool that you have, coaching on the back end just makes it drastically better. I think this gets you about 90% of the way there without coaching, but we're gonna give you the extra 10%. Honestly, it's gonna be more like 20, 30, 50%, because we're gonna create an entire swing course. We're in the process of creating it right now, and we'll be releasing it. That's gonna show you a step-by-step process on the systems that we use and the sizes that we use and how to use them correctly, so that way you can bridge the gap between your training and game time. Very, very important. But you'll be able to see that we pretty much fixed the half bat completely. Once you put this thing in your hands and you turn it and you catch it flush, you know that you're doing things correctly from there, which is really, really good. But then the hard part was, okay, once we started getting the feels on the tee and then we transfer over to flips or angled flips or whatever the next stimulus was, how do we get that same feel that we can get on the tee? Because hitting off the tee is usually where most athletes figure out the barrel turn the best, right? It's the easiest because the ball's not moving. So it's the lowest difficulty level, easier to figure out, of course. So usually they'll figure it out there. And then we go over to flips, and then sometimes it's more of a process. However, when you go over to flips and you're using different lighter balls that you can actually hit these half bats with, and then you also start using our gamer model, all of a sudden you start to transfer those feels and all of the drills that you were doing over to flips. And then because now you can actually use our gamer model up against machines, velo, it doesn't matter, it's MLB grade wood. Because of that, now you can actually get it in game. So all of a sudden it just starts to bridge the gap between training feels and actual performance. There's no other bat handle out there like that that does that. It just doesn't exist. I thought that was like the best part about it. So we have a step-by-step system that we're gonna be walking everybody through inside of our swing course with every purchase of this bat that walks you guys through why we actually created the small handle, the mini-sized half bat, Snap Pro model, the fungo size, and then the gamer, and how to use them in a step-by-step sequence so that way everybody can improve their barrel turn completely for free. So we're gonna walk you through that process. The cool thing about these models and the sizes of them is that the system that we've created allows you to fix a lot of other things with your swing, not just the barrel turn. That's why we chose the lengths that we chose, because we tested all of them and we wanted to create products that specifically improved very specific parts of the swing using a system. We wanted to make sure that everybody got a piece of that, and we didn't just create products and just said, here you go, like, good luck, okay? So although this gets you about 90% there, pretty common sense, like the half bat, boom, it's completely fixed. I want you guys to actually bridge the gap between your training over into game. And I think this is the one handle that's absolutely gonna change the game for that. Be on the lookout for our links that will be dropping on YouTube, on our Instagram profile on Launched Bat, LAUNCHDBATS. That's gonna be our profile for that company that will be selling these bats. Be on the lookout for those links that will be appearing soon, because that's how you guys will be able to order them and get on top of this first drop. So now we're gonna take you into a training session and show you guys these bats actually being used by current professional baseball players right now.